You thought you had love, but what you really had was an act. She smiled. She kissed you, maybe even said the right words, but deep inside, something never added up. You felt empty even when you were right next to her. That wasn't your imagination. That was the truth whispering to you, trying to break through. Because love can't be faked forever. And when it's not real, the cracks always show. So today, I'm going to reveal 10 painful but undeniable signs she never really loved you. Not to blame her, not to shame you, but to finally give you clarity. Because the harshest truth is better than living in a sweet-sounding lie. 1. She never appreciated your efforts. Let's be honest. You gave. You poured yourself into her like a man trying to fill a bucket with no bottom. Maybe you planned every little date, surprised her with thoughtful things, or tried to cheer her up after a long day. You thought those small sacrifices would add up to love, that she would see it and finally recognize what she had in front of her. But what did you get back? Silence, a shrug, maybe even a complaint. This is where the mask starts slipping. A woman who loves you doesn't ignore effort. She doesn't act like your kindness is an obligation. She notices. She lights up because she feels lucky that someone is willing to carry part of her load. But with her, you always felt like you were pushing a boulder uphill, like nothing you did could shift the emptiness in her response. Love has a natural language, and that language is appreciation. When she never once said thank you, when she brushed off your sacrifices, what she was really saying without words was, I don't value this because I don't value you. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but that's the truth. You weren't in love. You were in servitude. And here's the kicker. You felt it. Every time you went out of your way and got nothing back, a part of you sank lower. That feeling wasn't you being needy. It was your soul recognizing that something was off. When love is real, effort doesn't feel wasted. But when it's one-sided, it feels like bleeding out slowly while the other person just stands there watching. The harsh reality is this: love cannot survive without gratitude. A woman who never once made you feel seen, who treated your giving as something she was owed, never loved you. She only consumed what you offered until you were dry. That's not romance, it's exploitation. 2. She never considered your needs. A relationship is not a stage where only one person gets to shine. It's supposed to be a balance, a rhythm, a back and forth of giving and receiving. Your needs matter, your happiness matters. But when you were with her, every time you tried to bring up what you needed, she twisted it into an accusation. You wanted her time. Suddenly, you were clingy. You wanted respect. She said you were too sensitive. You wanted intimacy. She claimed you were only after one thing. That wasn't love. It was manipulation. Love listens. Love tries, even if it doesn't always get it right. A woman who genuinely cares about you will at least meet you halfway because she wants you to feel whole with her. But when she turned your needs into weapons against you, she wasn't seeing you as a man she loved. She was seeing you as a resource she could drain. And deep down you noticed. You started shrinking yourself. You stopped asking. You swallowed your desires because every time you spoke up, it came back at you. You became invisible in your own relationship. That's not how love works. That's how control works. The bitter truth. If she never even paused to consider your needs, if she acted like you were selfish for wanting the bare minimum, attention, respect, acknowledgement, then you weren't her partner. You were her prop. Love makes room for two voices. If yours was always silenced, she never loved you. 3. She never tried to fix problems. Arguments happen, misunderstandings happen, but here's the truth. When two people love each other, they fight not to win, but to heal. They raise their voices, yes, they clash, but somewhere in the chaos, There's a desire to patch things back up, because the bond matters more than the ego. But think back to her. What happened when conflict showed up? Silence, stonewalling, or worse, blame. Instead of asking, "How do we fix this?" she acted like the problem didn't exist, or she turned the spotlight back on you. Suddenly, you were always the villain, and she was always the victim. That's not love. That's indifference disguised as peace. A woman who loves you cannot sit comfortably while there's distance between you. She hates seeing you hurt, because your pain is her pain. But she could sleep fine, laugh with her friends, scroll her phone, while you sat awake replaying everything, trying to think of how to mend it. Her refusal to fix problems was the loudest answer of all. She wasn't invested in saving what you had. And here's the brutal truth. Ignoring problems isn't maturity, it's neglect. If she wasn't willing to repair it, it's because she didn't care if it broke. Love fights for survival. Apathy just lets it die quietly. 4. She never talked about the future. One of the clearest signs of real love is vision. Even in small ways, a woman who loves you imagines tomorrow with you. It doesn't always have to be a wedding or a house with a white fence. Sometimes it's just, "Let's go there next summer," or "Imagine us trying that in a few years." Those little threads of hope are her way of saying, "I see you in my life beyond today." But with her, nothing. Every time the subject came up, she brushed it off, changed the topic, smiled but dodged. She was never curious about what your shared future could look like, because she never intended to keep you in hers. And you probably told yourself excuses. She just lives in the moment. She doesn't like planning. But deep down, you knew. That avoidance wasn't carefree, it was deliberate. Because when a woman truly loves you, she cannot help but imagine tomorrow with you. If she never pictured you there, it's because she never saw you as permanent. You weren't her forever. You were her placeholder. 5. She never valued you as a man. Love isn't only about butterflies or attraction. It's about recognition. A woman who truly loves you looks at you and says, "I respect this man. I admire who he is." She values your strengths, honors your effort, and even accepts your flaws because she knows your essence matters more than perfection. But with her, you felt small. No matter what you achieved, it wasn't enough. Your victories were brushed off, your qualities ignored. Instead of admiration, you got criticism. Instead of encouragement, you got silence. That's not love, it's disregard. Love makes a man feel seen. It says, "I notice you and I'm grateful for you." But with her, you were invisible. She didn't love you, she loved what you could give. And when someone refuses to value your essence, they're telling you loud and clear, "You're not important, only your benefits are." That's not partnership, that's use. 6. She showed zero jealousy. Now, don't get this twisted. Extreme jealousy can be toxic. But a little concern, a little spark when another woman looks your way, that's natural. It's proof that she values her place in your life. She cares enough to fear losing you. But her, nothing. You could talk to other women, get compliments, even draw attention, and she barely blinked. Some men fool themselves into thinking she's just secure. But the truth is harsher. She wasn't secure. She was detached. Because when a woman truly loves you, she feels protective. She may not start drama, but she makes it clear. He's mine. Her indifference wasn't strength, it was absence. If she never showed the slightest care about losing you, it's because she never believed you were hers to begin with. And that's not love, that's detachment dressed up as maturity. 7. She wasn't there in your darkest hours. Love shines brightest when life turns dark. When you're broken, struggling, or feeling like the walls are closing in, that's when you discover if someone is truly there for you. Did she stand by you? Did she offer support, even just a hug, when you were down? Or did she vanish, acting like your struggles were an inconvenience? A woman who truly loves a man doesn't abandon him in his weakest moment. She steps closer. She becomes his strength when he's running out of his own. But if she distanced herself, if she acted cold when you were vulnerable, then she wasn't in love. She was in convenience. She wanted the sunshine, not the storm. And here's the harsh truth. If she couldn't walk with you in the dark, she never truly deserved you in the light. 8. She always put others before you. A woman's priorities tell you everything, and with her, you notice the pattern. She always had time for her friends, her co-workers, her family, even strangers on her phone. But somehow, she never had time for you. Plans with you were flexible, but plans with others, non-negotiable. And when you spoke up, she accused you of being clingy. But here's the reality. Nobody is ever too busy for the person they love. When you matter, they make space. When you don't, they fill their time with everyone else. If she constantly put others before you, then you weren't her priority. You were her option. That's not independence, that's avoidance. And if she couldn't choose you when it mattered, then she never loved you the way you loved her. 9. She cut you off without closure. When love is real, even if it ends, there's usually some kind of closure. A final conversation, a tearful goodbye, something that shows the bond meant something. But she vanished. No call, no text, nothing. It was as if you never existed. That wasn't healing, that was indifference. Because when a woman truly loves you, she cannot just erase you like an unwanted contact in her phone. Her silence told you the real story. You weren't a chapter she cherished. You were a page she tore out and tossed away. And that stings. But it's clarity. If she could disappear without looking back, then she never loved you. She was only done playing her role. 10. You never truly felt loved. This one cuts the deepest. Strip away the excuses. Forget the pretty words. Think about how you felt in your gut. Did you ever feel truly loved, or did you spend most of your time second-guessing, doubting, wondering if she cared as much as you did? That doubt wasn't paranoia, it was truth breaking through. Because when a woman loves you, you don't question it every day. You feel it, in her tone, in her effort, in the way she looks at you. Love leaves no room for constant insecurity. If you never truly felt loved, then you weren't. What you had was an illusion, a performance, and that's the hardest reality to accept, but also the one that finally sets you free. And there you have it, 10 undeniable signs she never really loved you. I know these truths sting. They cut deep because you gave real love to someone who only gave you a performance. But here's what you must remember. You didn't lose love, you lost an illusion. And that's not a loss, it's a release. The pain you feel right now, it's not from losing something real. It's from letting go of what was never genuine in the first place. That emptiness, that questioning, that constant doubt, it was your soul trying to tell you the truth all along. So stop romanticizing what was never there. Stop begging for scraps from someone who never saw your worth. From this moment on, demand more. Demand love that lifts you, not love that drains you. Demand appreciation, respect, and commitment, not excuses. Because the man who sees the truth can never be fooled again. And that's you now, free, sharper, stronger. Don't waste another second mourning a performance. Step into your worth and walk forward with clarity. If this message opened your eyes, then do something with it. Subscribe to Behavior Insight, because no man deserves to stay blind to these truths again. Share this video with a brother who needs to hear it. and drop your story in the comments. I read them and I want to hear yours. Remember, love isn't meant to confuse you. Real love makes you feel secure, respected, and valued. Anything less is not love. It's a lie. And now you know better.